So does my hair look insane totally? I just worked
No,
out.
you're fine. Am I good?
No, you're great.
Okay.
The curls are curling.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to True Crime Storytime. Today, we're going to take a detour again, and I'm going to tell Tyrella a story she doesn't know about a theory that I found online.
Yep.
So buckle up because this one's going to get a little crazy. We're
I'm
going to take
excited.
some turns.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything really.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to talk about national parks today. So if you're a true crime fan, you know lots of people go missing in national parks. Literally just like drop off the face of the earth, never heard from again.
Yeah, there's like whole docu-series just about that particular thing. It's like, that's crazy. That's I can't go to them. I can't go to those.
Well, you're not going to want to even.
No. This isn't going to help.
This. So let's get into it. Also, we didn't tell you who we are.
Oh, whoops.
I'm Nikita. This is Tyrella. This is True Crime Storytime.
Yeah, and we also have a podcast, so check that out.
Yeah, we do. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
What is it? What was it? Is that what they do? That's how Hensley always does it. I don't know what it means.
We're learning things from our children.
Because we're that old. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about national parks.
Let's do that.
And if you are interested, subscribe.
Please
Because you're going to love it.
Yes.
Okay, so lots of people go missing. National parks. I don't want to go to those. Nope. You don't want to go to those. Camping. It's not for me. I did see online, right? Like, so there's tons of theories about like, where are these people? How are they vanishing without a trace? In the year of our Lord 2025, in any instance, how does someone go missing without a trace? Like that, it boggles the mind.
Yes. It feels like there's like video cameras everywhere.
Yes.
But anytime somebody goes missing, they didn't work that day.
Yes.
And like, I feel like in national parks, there should be some sort of thermal scanning system.
Yeah.
Like, remember that movie Tremors? Like, that's how they saw the graboids could see you with the thermal. Like, shouldn't we have something?
Okay, well, hold on to your thought about Tremors because we could maybe bring it back in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so I saw on one of those TikTok videos, like, I'm bored. Tell me your wildest conspiracy theory. That was one I saw. I don't remember who posted it. This was one of the comments. I don't remember who left the comment because I'm really terrible at this and I'm so sorry. All that said, the theory was that there are, we'll call them feral people who live in the national parks completely off-grid, completely undetected, and they are snatching people up.
Okay, that's horrifying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's horrifying.
So, unsubstantiated, but let's talk about why it could be possible.
Oh, so these are just...
Well, there are some cases.
Oh, okay.
That are going to make you be like, oh, maybe they support this theory.
Okay, that's so scary.
I know.
This is why I don't go to the outdoors.
Well,
nothing good can come of it.
That's true.
It's like staying out past midnight or whatever your mom always said when you were little. Yeah.
The only thing open after midnight is hospitals and morgues. I think that's what my dad always said, or my mom. Somebody in my family told me that one time, and I was just like,
sounds right. Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'm not at either. Be home later. Best wishes.
Yeah. Like, not for me. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, right? Okay, so missing people, national parks. There is a docuseries. I think it's a docuseries. Missing 411.
Yes. I've watched
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So it's a guy, if you don't know, his name is David Paulides. I don't know how you pronounce it. Anyway, but he's documented over 1,400 cases of people going missing in national parks, particularly in like very weird and unexplained ways. Okay? So like, we're not talking like they were last seen on the edge of a cliff and like maybe they fell into a ravine.
Yeah.
Just like straight up they were there and then they weren't. Okay?
Oof.
So some of these cases, people's clothes after they have disappeared will like reappear but like miles from where they were last seen, and the clothes will be folded and like put by a trail.
That's creepy.
Sometimes like their shoes will show up, but like nothing else. There won't be a scent that dogs can track. And people are like certain of like, no, we were right here. Like we were at this campsite and there's no trail anywhere. And just no witnesses, no nothing. Or people are like, I saw something weird. I heard a weird noise. And then they were just gone. And that was just that. Okay.
Are we going to get into alien abductions?
We can discuss it as a possibility.
Because like,
I'm just going to throw this out here, right? And we'll just see what we come up with.
Okay.
Okay. So you let me know what you think. I've got notes again. So that's how you know this is very, very serious.
Yes, very serious.
Okay. So before we talk about, well, let's go ahead and talk about specific cases.
Okay.
Specific cases. There was a little boy in 1960. I lost my page. 69, I think. His name was Dennis. He was 6. He went missing from a campsite in, brace yourself, the Great Smoky Mountains.
I remember this case.
And he was just gone. They couldn't find him anywhere.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about that somewhere. It was like, they were like, was he playing hide and seek or?
They had been camping, I think. Like he was camping with his family. Like there were adults present.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if they had been playing hide and seek or they were doing something. Like he was around the campsite area, like not far from where he was.
He didn't go too far.
No. And the parents like basically turn around and turn back around, and he has just poofed into thin air. Can't track him. They're yelling for him. He's not responding. They never found a body. They never found traces of anything that would indicate like an animal attack or like nothing like that.
Yeah, because you'd think if he's 6 years old, it wasn't like he went for a hike by himself because he's an adult, and then later they're going to try to figure out where, like, he was right there.
He was there.
So, like, if he tripped and fell and broke his leg, or if they would very likely have found him or evidence.
Yeah. Of note, in that case, a family reported hearing a, quote, sickening scream and saw an unkempt, rough-looking man running through the woods nearby.
Oh, hell no.
They speculated that they could have been part of a hidden group that lived in the park. Okay, Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I've been.
Sure.
Have you been? Have I explored the entire thing? No, because it's huge.
No, it's.
Is it plausible that people could be living in there off grid that we don't know about?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, it crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy the possibilities, right? There was also a 12-year-old girl, a 14-year-old girl who went missing from Yosemite in 1981. She had been on a horseback riding trip with her dad, and they were part of a group, right? So she basically rides off a short distance to like go take a picture or something and just never comes back. And
where'd the horse go? The horse is gone?
Maybe. I don't know.
Gosh.
I don't know.
See,
yeah.
I don't know that I can physically, I should not know this information.
Wait, it gets worse. There was also a 2-year-old boy on a camping trip. And he just disappeared as well. Again, no trace, no scent, no nothing. Now, these are examples of kids, right, who could have been snatched up, picked up, carried away. But there are also examples of, like, full-grown adults who are experienced hikers, experienced outdoors people. Mm-hmm. And it happens to them, too.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Right, because, they would at least know
some survival tips or like
or here's something that I do to let somebody know where I was in hopes that they might find me, or I don't know those things.
No, I don't either.
In the woods,
but I'm not going to be out hiking in the national park solo.
No, hell no.
Okay, so those are some examples of things that have happened, right? I'm sure we've all heard millions of examples, it feels like, of things like this happening. Okay, so here's some real life examples of how this could actually be a group of feral off-grid people living in these national parks, right? The speculation that I have seen is that perhaps these groups, if they exist out there, are either people who have just decided to live off-grid, just like random, I've had enough of this crap, I'm going to live off-grid. There is a TLC show called Love Off-Grid about people who live off-grid. So maybe they live in the national parks. I don't really know.
Maybe.
But maybe just like some doomsdayer outdoor survivalists out there. Could be them. Another speculation is that some of these people may have been like descendants of like the first settlers that came to America. And like as the colonies moved and people grew and whatever, like obviously people stay behind sometime. Maybe these people just stayed behind and then became very isolated.
And that was just their way of life.
And then that's just their way of life now. There's also speculation that some of these people may be descendants of like some of the indigenous tribes that were in America, that maybe like as the tribe moved, they stayed as well. So that's also one of the theories, is that it started as a small group of either left behind settlers as the community moved, or people have just chosen to live off grid, right? But then, like you said, the pool is small.
Right.
And if we continue living life,
right,
are we now dealing with people who are completely off grid, who have been completely isolated their whole lives? So, I mean, at this point, they would have been isolated their whole lives, right?
Yeah.
And who are also suffering from possibly some issues due to what we'll call a limited gene pool.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we don't know what kind of issues they've got. We don't know what they might look like.
Right.
Because people have said, like, I saw something in the woods that like looked like maybe a human, but like wasn't quite right. Or was like, looked like a human, but was like moving really weird. Think about like the Jungle Book. Think about Mowgli, right? Like he grew up with.
That's true.
He grew up with wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And so he moved like a
right.
wolf.
You would,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
you
so
would
you would adopt those elements of.
Yeah.
There's also been reports that like when people go on searches, that the volunteers are told if you get deep in the woods and you hear someone calling your name, don't answer.
Why? How would they know your name?
I don't know, but that's one of the weird supernatural theories. Like think about like your Tremors theory, and like there's lots of mythology that goes into that. Like what's is it like a Hispanic Mexican myth? The big like tall guy, and he like calls your name. No? Oh my God. Okay.
That sounds too scary for me to know.
Well,
what? How does he know your name?
Because he's scary. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. And that's why I don't go camping.
No.
Or really hiking.
No.
Or any of that gross stuff.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Other possibilities. Aliens.
Sure. Beam you up.
Or signs.
Ooh.
Snatch you.
Yeah.
That movie scared the shit out of me.
100%.
I didn't like it.
100%.
Also an option though, because we've seen the congressional videos. Now we know they're out there. Although it does appear they live in the water. Did you not see the videos?
No, I'm too
The little
scared.
flying saucers straight into the ocean.
Okay, so
which is another reason that the ocean is terrifying.
You don't go in the ocean.
No.
We don't. I'm not gonna.
Ocean and space. I want nothing to do with either of those things.
Absolutely not. No.
And I certainly don't want you in the national park snatching people.
No. What about like, did Sasquatch come up? Do people talk about that much? Okay.
That the feral people could be people seeing Sasquatch. Or what they're calling Bigfoot, right?
Yeah. Is there just one Bigfoot, or is there Big Feets?
Well, there's a movie on Netflix, The Bigfoot Family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there could be more than one, I guess.
Okay.
They could be a family of Bigfoot's feets. Beatsies. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows how many there are?
So what do you think? Do you think it's plausible?
Look. Anything. I think
anything is possible.
Possible. I don't think we know enough about the world.
That's fair.
Especially deep areas. Mm-hmm. Because we don't have eyes on it. We don't know what's going on. My hope is no. But where are all these people going?
Okay, well, that's what I was going to say. If the answer is no, then what's happening?
Yeah, because I do know I've heard of cases where, like, you know, yeah, there is a serial killer and they operate out of there or whatever, and then they're found or whatever. That still doesn't account for the numbers that you're talking about. Right. Yeah. So, like, that seems to be...
It's a lot. It's a lot of people. And it's a lot of people under a lot of weird circumstances.
Right. And if it were...
And that's the hang up to me.
If it were a... Now, I don't want to discount a serial killer because...
It's possible.
Obviously, they're terrible. But if it were a human that is used to living in our world...
Right.
I feel like they tend to get caught. I mean, that's how we know about it. So, like, they will make a mistake. They will leave DNA evidence behind, or they might already be in the system, or whatever. Not to say that people don't commit crimes that are not in the system, but for there to be no trace whatsoever. Yeah. You know, and like that situation.
Well, you also have to think too, if it is a group of people who are not integrated into society, who have never grown up in our modern society, whatever. When we're investigating, we're looking for modern mistakes.
Yes.
Right? So, like, I'm looking for someone who has grown up in the environment or the world that I have grown up in.
Right.
I'm not looking for someone who is a survivalist who lives off the land, who knows how to, like, climb trees with a toothpick or something. Like,
exactly.
I'm not looking for that because I don't know what I don't know. So, like,
who can move undetected.
Yeah. And I mean, think about it. Like, if you grew up in that environment, right? If you grew up off grid, you're a survivalist. You have to hunt and gather and, like, all of the things. So, like, if you have to hunt large prey, I'm not saying that should be people.
Right.
But, like, you learn to move quietly. You learn to cover your scent so that the animals don't know you're there. Like, there's a million things that could make this
And you
possible.
can make yourself blend in.
Yeah. Well, because they're not wearing, like, brand new hiking shoes and Lululemon neon stuff, like hats and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they have clothing, it's from whatever they were able to make it from whatever resources they have, which is not like your local Target.
Exactly. The flip side of that is, though, if that's happening, is it possible that out of all of the time that we've had people, because national parks are also tourist locations, is it possible that nobody would have ever come across them and lived? I guess. Or...
Funny you should say that.
Oh, okay.
There's also a government cover-up conspiracy. Oh. Because national parks bring in money. They bring in tourism. They, like, people go there, right? Like, it's a moneymaker.
Interesting.
It's so bad for business. It's bad if people are scared to go there, or if people think they could be snatched off the trail. So,
I mean, if it's bad for business, we just pretend like it didn't happen. It's Bruno at that point.
Yeah. So, like, maybe there's a secret agent team that hears about this, and they just, like, black ops, drop in, eliminate the evidence, extract it back out, and move on. Oh. And we never know.
Like a Mission Impossible.
Like Agent Cody Banks, where he drops out of the ceiling. Frankie Muniz. Oh. You didn't watch that movie when you were a kid?
I don't think so.
Agent Cody Banks. He's a kid
Is that the name of the movie?
Yes.
Oh. I missed that one. I am older than you by a few years.
That is true.
So I
forgot you were aged.
I know. So that might have been
might have been more my time.
Me.
I think Lizzie McGuire was in that movie.
Yeah. I was like right before Lizzie McGuire. That was a little too young for me.
Ugh. How so very unfortunate for you.
I know. Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's possible.
That's what I got. So I guess let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Do we think aliens? Do we think government cover-up? Feral people? Do we think they exist out there? So let us know.
Yeah.
If you buy this theory, and if you don't, tell me why. Why don't you like it?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is actually happening?
Yeah.
I would like to know.
Me too, because it's so weird. There's so many.
Yeah, there's a lot. And there are there are so many cases that like I can think of. I remember another one in the Smoky Mountains was like a high school went for a field trip. So this would have been like they live in Knoxville or something. Mm-hmm. These kids are like 17 years old, 16, 17 years old. They go on a field trip. They're all there as a group. One girl disappears. She's never been found. Her body's never been found. Like, nobody heard anything. Nobody saw anything. She just was gone. And that was maybe in like the 80s or something. I forget. It's been a while, but.
It's crazy. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah. There's a lot of cases.
But that's what we think.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I read on the internet and then took a deep dive down the rabbit hole. So.
Yeah.
Your internet searches can take you weird places.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, the internet has literally everything. So
it's got too much. Yeah.
Too much. Yeah. But let us know what you think. This is very interesting. I have never heard such. Mm-hmm. I am terrified.
You're welcome.
I will never
sleep again.
I will never sleep again.
I'm so sorry.
I'm like, this is like information that like I am too scared to know. Like I'm too scared to watch scary movies. Mm-hmm. I'm too scared to know this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I can have the true crime knowledge that I have and still function. This feels like
that.
Yeah, because I feel like at some point my family is going to be like, let's go to XYZ Park, and I'm going to be like,
no. We can't, and here's why. I've got a list.
Yeah, we can take a picture at the entrance sign.
Yep, and then promptly vacate.
Out we go. Yeah.
Well,
Oof.
Let us know, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.